Well, a very good evening and thank you for joining us on India Business Hour. I'm Ashmit Kumar and here are the headlines that we're tracking at this hour. Tata Sons plans to build a new EV battery plant in United Kingdom's Somerset, announces an investment of $5.2 billion. Jaguar Land Rover, owned by the Tatas, will be the anchor customer for the factory, which will be Europe's largest. Production will start in 2026. Sensex and Nifty end at a record high. Mid-caps outperform the blue chips. Wall Street opens flat. All the key indices have gained for 7 days in a row. The government convenes the customary all-party meeting ahead of the monsoon session that starts tomorrow. Opposition parties are likely to rake up the Manipur situation, among other issues. 31 bills are likely to be tabled, including 21 new legislations. Microsoft announces a new artificial intelligence subscription worth $30 per month will allow use of generative AI tools with its products like Word, Excel, Teams, and others. Microsoft also joins hands with Meta to distribute the commercial version of Zuckerberg's new AI model called Llama 2. Relief for Disney Hotstar. The Madras High Court prohibits Google from delisting the app from Play Store, allows Disney to pay only 4% fee for using Google's payment system. Google says the 4% figure is temporary and applies only to Hotstar and developers on its platform. Goldman Sachs reports a 68% decline in profits. Second quarter earnings from real estate investment banking takes a hit. Revenue are also down 8%. The Met Department issues rain alert for several regions across the country, from J&K to the Andamans. Heavy rains lash Mumbai and adjoining Thane, disrupting local train services. India's ranking on the Henley Passport Index improves 7 places to 80. Indians can now travel to 57 out of 227 countries without a pre-departure visa approval. Countries like Burkina Faso, Mongolia, and Azerbaijan have visa-free access to more countries than India. Singapore is the most powerful passport with visa-free access to 192 countries. Well, let's start with the day's market action. Sensex gained over 300 points to cross the 67,000 mark. Nifty gained over 80 points to inch closer towards the 20,000 levels. Bank stocks saw some healthy gains, with the index gaining over 250 points. Mid-caps, meanwhile, managed to outperform the blue chips, ending with gains of nearly 1%. And well, from stocks to commodities, crude oil prices are inching higher. This after China's top economic planner pledged that it would roll out policies to restore and expand consumption. Tighter supply from Russia and lower weekly crude oil inventories in the United States also supported prices. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs earnings missed streets' expectations, largely led by its real estate arm and the sale of its Green Sky lending unit. Second quarter profit fell by as much as 58% to $1.22 billion, and the company-wide revenue slipped by 8% to nearly $11 billion. This has been one of the company's weakest quarters under the Chief Executive Officer, David Solomon. Well, here's the big corporate story. Tata Sons is planning to build a new EV battery plant in the United Kingdom. The company has announced an investment of £4 billion, and the production at the Gigafactory is set to begin in 2026. Sonia Shenoy is joining us now with more details. Sonia, take us through Tata's EV plans.
Well, as you rightly pointed out, this is a big investment coming in from the Tata Group. They will be investing £4 billion to set up a new electric vehicle battery plant in Somerset in England. And this is in order to supply EV batteries to Jaguar Land Rover, apart from other customers in UK. Now, this new factory will have an output of 40 gigawatt hours, making it one of the largest factories to produce EV batteries in Europe. The production at the new gigafactory will start in 2026, and this new factory is expected to create around 4,000 jobs in UK, and the plant will eventually meet half of UK's battery production needs by 2030. Now, the Tata Group, remember, is going big in terms of its electric vehicle plans over the next many years. The company has also said that their balance sheet is improving substantially. They have spoken about how in Q1 of this year, they will be free cash flow positive to the tune of £400 million for Jaguar Land Rover.
Well, Microsoft stock ended the day at record high after the company announced the pricing structure for its new artificial intelligence subscription service. The company's CoPilot service will add AI to its existing products, including Excel, Word and Teams. This will cost an additional $30 per month, and this could increase monthly prices for enterprise customers by as much as 83%. CNBC's Steve Kovac brings us the latest.
Microsoft shares surged nearly 4% Tuesday, closing at an all-time high following a slew of AI product announcements. The big one coming out of the company's Inspire event, Microsoft revealing pricing for CoPilot, its AI chatbot for Office apps like Outlook, Teams, and Word. Microsoft will charge enterprise customers an additional $30 per user per month. That's on top of the $36 per user most big companies are paying now. Investors seeing an opportunity here. Microsoft 365, the subscription for all those Office apps, has hundreds of millions of users. Even if convincing a fraction of those to pay up for CoPilot can be a nice revenue boost. Microsoft is not saying when CoPilot will be broadly available for customers. Right now, only a limited number of companies are testing it. And the burden is on Microsoft to convince companies the productivity improvements with CoPilot will more than justify the hefty premium it's charging. One other major announcement, Microsoft's Bing chatbot, which launched earlier this year, is getting a new version for businesses called Bing Chat Enterprise. This will provide an encrypted version of Bing Chat, which is powered by OpenAI's ChatGPT. That means workers can use it without sharing their private company information with Microsoft. Already this year, companies like Apple and Samsung have banned employees from using ChatGPT at work, and this is designed to fix that problem. Overall, Microsoft's newest AI announcements are the latest example of how it's still ahead of rival Google, both when it comes to launching new products and making money from them. And we'll get even more from Microsoft next week when it's scheduled to report its quarterly earnings. For CNBC Business News, I'm Steve Kovac.
And while staying with AI, Meta has released new version of its open source artificial intelligence model called Llama 2. In a blog post, the company said that the technology will be for free and it will be distributed through Microsoft's cloud service, Azure. Well, the Madras High Court has prohibited Google from delisting Disney Hotstar from its App Store. In an interim order, the court also directed Google to charge the streaming service in India 4% in-app payment. Jude Sanith is joining us now with more details. Jude, take us through that High Court order and tell us what it means for Disney Hotstar and for Google.
Well, in simple terms, it means temporary relief for Disney plus Hotstar, even as the Madras High Court, issued this interim order so as to ensure that Google does not charge more than 4% by way of commission, and this is specifically in the case of Disney plus Hotstar, filing an appeal in the Madras High Court just yesterday. Incidentally, the Madras High Court also said that Google would not be allowed to delist the Disney plus Hotstar app from the Play Store. Remember, this comes after the appeal wherein Disney plus Hotstar became one of 15 companies to take Google to court pertaining to the use of the GPBS or the Google Play billing system, which charges fees or commission of anywhere between 11 to 26%. But it must be important to mention here that the present interim order applies only to Disney plus Hotstar and also will be applicable only for the course of these legal proceedings, given the fact that it is interim itself. In fact, in a statement, Google said, and I quote, "The order is interim in nature, and the temporary 4% figure is simply a fee that the developer will pay to Google each month while these legal proceedings play out," end quote. Now, incidentally, the court has also ordered Disney plus Hotstar to furnish financial information of the company so as to ensure that Google can collect this 4% fee in a timely manner. Just to give you context, like I mentioned before, there are 15 or 14 other companies apart from Disney plus Hotstar that have taken Google to court, the likes of Matrimony.com, Unacademy, Alt Balaji, and dating apps like Quack Quack and Truly Madly, pertaining to this 11 to 26% fee that Google charges for all payments made on apps on the Google Play Store itself. While this relief, interim and temporary as it may be, it does apply only to Disney Plus Hotstar pertaining to their appeal. So a win, no doubt, but a temporary one at that for Disney India.
Right, Jude, thanks a lot for that. This is an interesting case that a number of stakeholders from the startup ecosystem will be watching very closely the developments out of Madras High Court. Let's shift focus now. India's domestic consumption cushions it against any slowdown. That's the word coming in from World Bank Chief Ajay Banga. Speaking after meeting Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman at her Delhi office, Banga said that he discussed issues related to G20 and cooperation between the World Bank and India.
India is doing a lot of things which has allowed it to stay ahead. We've just had a great growth year. And you know, most countries would be very happy with the 7% growth rate in this environment. So I'm a little more optimistic about where this could go. My general sense is if there's a global slowdown, the one thing that India has going for it is the very high percentage of its GDP that comes from domestic consumption. Your exposure to the typical impact of global slowdowns caused by trade slowing down, caused by trade in goods as well as services slowing down, India's exposure is cushioned by the relatively higher percentage of the economy that comes from domestic consumption, which is very helpful.
Well, shares of Bajaj Foods hit a 52-week high after it acquired 49% stake in new snack maker Bhujia Lalji for over 5 crore rupees. The deal involved 9,600 equity shares and 396 compulsorily convertible debentures. The acquisition is a reflection of the rapidly expanding packaged snack market. And well, the government will be selling subsidized tomatoes at 70 rupees a kilogram at Delhi and some cities in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and this will be effective from tomorrow. The Consumer Affairs Ministry said that their two cooperatives, NAFED and NCCF, have procured 391 metric tons of tomatoes till yesterday. Well, some quick commerce player, Danzo, has deferred salary payments of employees due from June to either late August or the first week of September. This is a notable delay from the previous deadline of July 20th. Remember, the cash-strapped startup had deferred the June salaries for around 500 employees, or that's 50% of its entire workforce. Aishwarya Anand is joining us now with more details. Aishwarya, tell us, what are you picking up?
That's right. A severe cash crunch at Danzo has resulted in salaries of employees not being credited since June. We now learn that the quick commerce platform is intending to clear all dues by the first week of September. Earlier today, Danzo informed its workforce that their salaries that were originally due in June will be further deferred. This impacts around 500 employees, which make up of 50% of the entire workforce. These employees were initially promised that all dues would be cleared by July 20. However, as Danzo continues to engage with investors to secure additional funding and address its cash flow challenges, the deadline has now been pushed further. The company has capped employee salaries at Rs 75,000 per month, regardless of their pay package. CNBC-TV18 has also learned that the $75 million that Danzo raised in April, only about $45 million has come through. The grocery delivery platform is now looking towards Reliance Retail, one of its biggest shareholders, for a $20 million lifeline. In fact, sources also told CNBC-TV18 that the company is taking a hard look at its model to weed out the cost-heavy and unproductive verticals in order to restructure the business and keep the company a going concern. Now remember, Danzo is part of the growing list of Indian startups which have been cutting costs to extend their capital runway. The quick commerce platform cut its workforce by 30% in April in its second round of job cuts. It also reported a net loss of Rs 464 crores in FY22 and is yet to disclose its FY23 numbers.
Right, Aishwarya, thanks a lot for that. Now, GST officials have visited an office of Upgrad in Mumbai for a routine survey, according to a statement by the EdTech company, startup. The company has said that it is fully compliant and that it is cooperating with the department. Piramal Pharma has received the market regulator's nod to raise up to 1,050 crore rupees via a rights issue. According to the draft papers submitted to SEBI, Piramal Pharma will issue fully paid up equity shares of the company to its existing eligible shareholders. The proceeds will be utilized for debt payment. The Union government convened a customary all-party meeting ahead of Parliament's monsoon session in New Delhi. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh chaired The gathering, Congress leaders demanded a discussion on the Manipur situation. Lok Sabha opposition leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said that they would move an adjournment motion on the issue tomorrow. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said that the government was ready to have a discussion on the Manipur violence on the floor of the House.
हमने ऑल पार्टी फ्लोर लीडर्स का मीटिंग बुलाया था, तो कल से सेशन शुरू होने वाला है. Many suggestions oppositions have also given, opposition parties have also given. सभी पार्टियां मणिपुर के बारे में चर्चा की मांग कर रहे थे. मणिपुर के बारे में चर्चा के लिए सरकार तैयार है.
Well, the monsoon session that starts tomorrow will conclude on the 11th of August. 21 new bills are likely to be taken up by the Lok Sabha during this session. Parikshit Luthra now joins us with more. Parikshit, lots on the table as far as the monsoon session is concerned. Tell us, what can we expect in the upcoming monsoon session?
Well, this is bound to be a stormy session of Parliament. There are 15 sessions in all that will take place. 21 new bills, notable among them the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, which has been in works for a very long time, the Forest Conservation Amendment Bill, the Jan Vishwas Amendment Bill, which will decriminalize several laws, the Mines and Minerals Amendment Bill, which will pave the way for lithium mining. You will also see bills such as the Delhi Ordinance. This will replace the Delhi Ordinance, which gives the central government power over transfer and postings of Group A officers in New Delhi. Now, this was a major point of standoff between the Delhi government and the centre. Many opposition parties are together on this issue, so you could see tensions on the floor of the House. There will also be questions asked on the Manipur violence which has been going on, also misuse of investigating agencies, bringing of GSTN under the PMLA framework as well. So expect some tough questions from the opposition, some fiery exchanges between the government and the opposition. We will also see for the first time how these 26 opposition parties who have come together for the India alliance behave on the floor of the House. What is their coordination and collaboration like on the issues?
And meanwhile, speaking of politics, the BJP-led NDA will face off against the opposition's India in next year's parliamentary elections. The 26-member grouping of opposition parties will be known as the Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, or its acronym India. The parties met yesterday in Bengaluru to firm up their strategies ahead of the Lok Sabha elections next year. My colleague Parikshit spoke with two brand consultants on whether the acronym India could boost the opposition's prospects at the ballot box.
I think in terms of branding, we can say that what has been stitched together is great, but coalitions need to be stitched together, need to be given a name, but they need to get going. If the Secretariat and a coordinated campaign committee is a possibility, that's going a long way towards both integrity and intent.
In each state, there will be local elections will be fought on front of a name. And the name is Narendra Modi as far as the other side is concerned. But India, they haven't thought of a name. They've just a name that represents them. Would they fight Rajasthan? Would they fight on India? No. They will fight on Congress. They will fight on CPM. They'll fight on TMC. They'll fight each of the local elections as they come along. So where is this going to end up is the question.
Well, with that, it's time now for a short break. But coming up next, India's ranking on the Henley Passport Index improves 7 places to 80. Indians can now travel to 57 out of 227 countries without a pre-departure visa approval. More details when we come back.
The MG Cluster Blackstone. Drive unstoppable.
Fiixed deposit खोल दूं?
नहीं यार, savings account.
FD is better. FD मतलब higher interest baby.
Savings account मतलब पैसा. पास में baby.
Kotak Active Money. अब FD वाला interest savings account में up to 7% per annum.
Active
Money.
You get it now.
ऐसे करते हैं ट्रेड।
Try 5 पैसा। Upcoming corporate action या news flow। किसका हुआ merger, कौन है नया CEO?
Financial data मिलेगा अब हाथों हाथ, fundamental analysis से अब बनेगी बात।
With 5 पैसा's in-depth company information, always stay up to date।
ऐसे करते हैं trade।
सोच मत छोटे, install मार। Investment in securities market are subject to market risk. Read all related documents carefully before investing.
Welcome back. Now, 10 BJP MLAs, including 4 ex-ministers, suspended from Karnataka Assembly for indecent and disrespectful conduct. The Speaker's decision came in response to chaotic scenes in the House where BJP members tore bill copies and agenda papers. BJP members were angry at the Speaker for continuing House proceedings without providing a lunch break. The BJP has been protesting against the Congress-led government, accusing it of misusing IS officers to impede opposition leaders' meetings over the past 2 days. The Supreme Court has agreed to list petitions concerning whether marital rape should be criminalized. Chief Justice of India, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, said that these matters will be heard by a separate 3-judge bench after the Constitution benches conclude hearing some of the listed cases in May of 2022. A Delhi High Court bench had delivered a split verdict in the marital rape case. Well, the Met Department has issued rain alert for several states, including Maharashtra, Gujarat, Himachal, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Karnataka, and Uttarakhand as well. An orange alert has been issued for financial capital Mumbai and adjoining Thane. At least 17 people have died due to electrocution after a transformer exploded at the Namami Gange project site on the banks of the Alaknanda River in Uttarakhand. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami ordered a magisterial inquiry into the incident that took place in Chamoli district. The state government will provide 5 lakh rupees to the dependents of the deceased. Russian President Vladimir Putin will participate in the BRICS summit via a video conference. A Kremlin spokesperson said that the foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, will also be present at the event. This comes after South Africa said that Putin wouldn't attend the summit in person. Japan is no longer the most powerful passport in the world as per the latest global rankings, but this time too, it's an Asian country that's topping the ranks. Arundhati Ramanan is joining us now with more details. Arundhati, give us a sense of where the country stands as of right now. Where does India stand and what do these rankings signify?
Singapore has overtaken Japan to become the most powerful passport in the world. This, according to the Henley Passport Index. So what does this mean? If you hold a Singapore passport, you can now travel visa-free to 192 destinations out of a total 227 in the entire world. Meanwhile, Germany, Italy and Spain were tied in second place with their passport holders enjoying access to 190 destinations. Japan, which ranked first in 4 out of the last 5 years, took the number 3 spot with visa-free access to 189 destinations, tied with France, Austria, Finland, Sweden, Luxembourg and South Korea. So where does India stand? India jumped 7 spots from last year's index to come in at the 80th spot, which it shares with 2 other countries, Togo and Senegal. So anybody with an Indian passport can now travel visa-free to 57 countries in the world. However, this is fewer than the 60 destinations Indian could go visa-free last year. Serbia was one of those countries that revoked visa-free entry for Indians last year. Now, the US fell to number 8 with access only to 184 destinations, but allows only 44 other destinations visa-free entry into the US. At the bottom of the list lies Afghanistan, which allows access to only 27 destinations, while Yemen, Pakistan, Syria and Iraq round up the bottom 5. There are 12 completely open countries that allow visa-free or visa-on-arrival entry to all 199 passports. Now, the list is up on the wall. There's Burundi, Comoro Islands, Djibouti, Guinea-Bissau, Maldives, Micronesia, Mozambique, Rwanda, Samoa, Seychelles, Timor-Leste and Tuvalu. Now, on the flip side, there are 4 countries at the bottom of Henley's openness index which do not allow visa-free access for any passport. That includes Afghanistan, North Korea, Papua New Guinea, and Turkmenistan. So how open is India? Well, India is ranked at the bottom of the openness index. Very few nationals can enter India without a visa, including Bhutan, Nepal, and Maldives. Other countries that are not so open include Libya, Bhutan, Eritrea, and Equatorial Guinea. With that, it's back to you.
Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Business Hour. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching CNBC TV18 for more news and updates.